Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 11th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see we've got some remnants of that tropical moisture still down across the Gulf of California, and this is still streaming up across Arizona for the next couple of days. The precipitation, it could still be clipping portions of California as we go through the day today, but the big weather story here is this energy up here across British Columbia. Yes, the tropospheric polar vortex is going to pay a visit to the state of California as this energy drops right down the west coast here and sets up shop and brings a very potent storm into much of the state of California. So we're going to dive into all those details here as we go through the video here this morning. And you can see the day one excessive rainfall outlook is largely across portions of Arizona, Utah, up into Colorado, and western New Mexico for the slight risk. There's day two, but watch what happens on day three. You can see they reintroduce some of this marginal, and on day 4 and 5, some of this is going to be moving down towards Southern California here as well. Now, taking a look at the notable rainstorm coming up here, you can see the National Weather Service is calling attention to it. Look at San Francisco, 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall, even more for Santa Cruz, down the coastline, Big Sur, Gorda 2 to 3, and all the way down through Southern California. And I'm going to show you some of that here more in a moment, some of those totals. Now, San Diego National Weather Service talking about it as well. Some rain chances, better chances definitely across Ventura, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles County, but some of that could be moving down across Orange, San Diego County as well. And big time snows coming for the Sierra Nevada, very early season snowfall. And you can see we've got winter storm watches. They are in effect, mainly 6,500 feet and above, but Donner Pass there is at 7,000 feet going across I-80. So there is going to be some slick highways back there, and I-80 could get slick as well. Travel delays, slick roads, chain controls, and you might not want to travel during this time period. This is from 11 a.m. Monday through 5 p.m. on Wednesday. If you can travel outside of that time period, definitely the better you'll be. Now, widespread rainfall likely for portions of Arizona. Just want to run through this. It does clip portions of California today, possibly. You can see Joshua Tree, Desert Center, El Centro, and Blythe are right there. Heavier precipitation amounts across much of Arizona and Phoenix, dealing with some flooding concerns. Again, got that slight risk out there for the next couple of days. Occasional lightning, and watch out, turn around, don't drown. You know how the roadways get flooded, those dry washes get going when you get this kind of rainfall moving across the area. And also some wind here in the short term. So if I scroll through the day to day, this is the high resolution model. We're looking at Los Angeles right here. You can see Point Conception. There's the California-Mexico border. You can see Nevada and Arizona off to the right. But look at some of these winds kick up as we're going through this afternoon and evening. We could get some gusts, again, up over 50 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour maybe across some certain areas. They do mention that again here for the I-5 corridor. So watch out across the higher terrain, Santa Barbara, Ventura County, some of these strong north winds ripping across the area, and all the way down to the peninsula range from the desert areas. Pretty gusty here as we go through tonight as well. And then we kind of relax that grading a little bit here for most areas. You can still see it's blowing out of the northwest fairly strong as we go through tomorrow night and on through very early Monday morning. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, click on the link down below. It's all solar powered, it's all wireless, it's easy to install. You literally flip a switch, system turns on, it sends this information to a beacon in your house, broadcast that to the web. You can keep your station private even if you want, but click on the link down below to save 10% off. You won't regret purchasing that one. So taking a wider look, we're looking at North American view. You can see this system here that's bringing some precipitation across the Pacific Northwest in Northern California, but it's this bit of energy right here that we are watching. If you put that into motion, you can really see that move down across Washington State off the Oregon coastline and set up shop. Man, look at that placement right there near the Bay Area. And again, a lot of moisture streaming into Southern California, very strong winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere going to be slamming into the Sierra Nevada as well. And we'll be dealing with that one as we go on in through the day on Wednesday before that system finally pulls off. What's going to happen after that? We'll worry about that later. Got a lot to worry about in the meantime. But this kind of shows it even a little bit better. You can see that bit of energy out there across the Gulf of, not the Gulf of Alaska. This is in interior portions of northern British Columbia, but this is that polar vortex here. We're looking at 18,000 feet, and you can really see the track of this. Just take this perfect track and kind of drop that off and spin around here off the coastline of California. So that is what's known as the tropospheric polar vortex. And yeah, and remember, across the subtropics, we're pretty wet and warm there, at least all things considered. You know, the Arctic is a much drier place, and you drop a lot of this cold air down here, you're dealing with a lot of moisture and a big clash of temperatures, and that's why the storm is going to be so potent for the state of California. Now, Raymond is still out there. It's very discombobulated, but it is going to continue to bring some of its moisture north, and there is additional tropical cyclone formation possible over the next 7 days. We'll worry about that later. But you can see there's tropical storm warnings up for Cabo, and then this should be dissipating here as we go on in through tonight and through tomorrow morning. Now, the wave height. So with a storm like this out there, a lot of times it's going to kick up some waves. But here, as we go on in through Monday, you can kind of see the system getting developed. It's not going to spend enough time out over the water to really generate the waves, too big of waves here. So we're not looking at huge wave action from this next storm. So that's one takeaway from the system there, as if we're, if you had a better fetch out over the open water with some stronger surface winds. But this is not a very deep, low pressure center, and it's not going to spend enough time out over the water to generate those big waves for the most part. Now, looking at the European model, so let's scroll through here and we'll check out when the first rounds of precipitation are coming from the storm. You can see it right there as we go on in through tomorrow night. Northwest California starts to get a bit of that. Storm is developing right on the coastline here. You see the initial rounds of rainfall coming across the Bay Area as we go through the day on Monday. And you see some of the snow start to fly for the Sierra Nevada as we go through Monday night. But then the stronger portion of the storm starts to roll down in here, and we get some pretty heavy rainfall all the way down the central coast, up across some of the Sacramento Valley, the foothills, Sierra Nevada. A lot of precipitation incoming. Some very heavy rainfall amounts could be lining up here for portions of Santa Barbara and Ventura County as just slams into the terrain, bringing some big time rainfall even in towards Los Angeles County. I mean, look at that. This is just a 6-hour running total. Some of these totals could be 2-3 inches, and then it swoops down towards Southern California. You can see how it loses some of its punch as it reaches towards Orange and San Diego County. But again, what a potent storm for this time of year. And if we look at the artificial intelligence on the left versus the GFS on the right, you can see the timing, pretty good model agreement. And as I scroll on in through Monday night, you can see that precipitation really ramping up for the Central Coast and the Bay Area as we go through the day on Monday. And pretty good model agreement on some very heavy rainfall moving down across much of the region. And then we'll scroll through and who knows what's going to happen after that. Also, there is some convective available potential energy here. The waters, off the coastal areas have been above average. And as we bring that system down, you can kind of see that unstable air mass in the wake of the initial frontal system here. And the initial round of precipitation, you can call it an atmospheric river. It's fairly progressive, and thank goodness, because it would really cause some flooding problems if this were to hang up at all. But you can also see with the upper level low, we're going to be unstable as we go on in through Monday into Tuesday, and as we go on to Wednesday, this will be kicking off to the east. But there is thunderstorm potential with this system as well. Now, taking a look here at 500 millibars, this is kind of a visual aspect of what we're looking at here, and you can really see that polar vortex come pay us a visit there. I mean, look at that, perfectly carved out across the state of California as we go through the day. Tuesday, it'll be with us a bit on Wednesday before it starts to kick off on the eastern portions on Thursday. Now, if we take a wider view of things here, there's the Hawaiian Islands bottom left. This is at 5,000 feet, and you'll see the temperature anomaly. So we're going to scroll through, and you'll see the bit of energy again dropping down the coastline there, and check it out. I mean, look at that for this time of year, just an exceptionally cold upper level low for the state of California. I do like showing off these visual representations so you can really get a feel what's going on. Now, at 10,000 feet as well, we're in a three-dimensional atmosphere. Might as well show this one, and you can really see that a little taste of the polar vortex moving down across the state of California. 100-meter wind speeds. We'll check this out really quick. I was looking to see if this is going to generate much in the way of wind, but you can see that low developing here, and then you can see with the frontal system, it'll get a bit blustery. It looks like across some portions of Santa Barbara, Ventura County. You can kind of see that wind moving in towards Los Angeles as well. Nothing too crazy, though. It's just not deepening quite enough to bring a big wind event with it, but it will have a lot of moisture to work with. Now, 24-hour precipitation totals in total in inches here on the European model. You can see some of the cumulonimbus moving across the Bay Area. You see it's a little bit hit and miss there, but some of the Sacramento Valley is getting some pretty decent amounts, especially the foothill areas in the Sierra Nevada. You look down towards the transverse range and look at all this rainfall coming. It's going to come pretty fast and furious. So there's definitely going to be some flood watches here, hoisted up in the next day or so for Los Angeles National Weather Service, and really starts to pick up some of these amounts as you go from the Bay Area south along the central coast, and big time snow coming. We're going to talk about that here starting right now. Now, I mentioned yesterday that you want to look at accumulated positive snow depth change in inches, and the models have been trending upwards there as well. So that's what we're looking at, European on the left versus the USA model here on the right. And if we scroll through here, you can see the European brings it in a little bit faster than the GFS, but both models are showing, some areas getting 1.5 feet, maybe towards 2 feet of actual snow sticking on the ground. Again, snow levels above 6,500 feet, but if some major passes like I-80 are 7,000 feet, and there's some highways out there. I know there's some people off in the backcountry and hikers and whatnot. A lot of people live in the state of California, and no doubt somebody's going to be caught off guard by this system, because that is a lot of snowfall as we roll through the mid portion of October. Now, if you want to kind of do the hype machine here, and you might see some of this on social media, you'd throw something like this out and you'd go total snow Kuchera ratio, and people might be going, oh, look, we're going to get 60 plus inches of snowfall. But just remember, this is not what is going to be sticking at the surface. You got to keep it real, folks. Now, take a look at snow depth on the European ensemble. So this is the ensemble mean, and you see some areas up over what? You're talking about 18, 19 inches of snow across some of the Sierra Nevada. Now, looking at total precipitation on the artificial intelligence ensemble, you can clearly see where the bullseye is: Central Coast, down towards Southern California, transverse range, Los Angeles County, big rainfall likely incoming, and hopefully we can get some pretty good amounts across some of the San Joaquin Valley as well, because the Sierra Nevada is going to get a lot of precipitation. Now, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, below normal for much of the West Coast. That checks out, and who knows about that. We're going to worry about the extended forecast later. Check out the Patreon page if you like as well. Great way if you want to donate some of your hard-earned money towards the channel. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. We're going to break this all down again tomorrow, and I may live stream at some point once the storm is getting geared up as we go through this weekend. We'll see how that goes. I may be out chasing here across some of the West Coast as well. I haven't decided on that yet either. So anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good day, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at the latest.